sensitive? Why everybody so sensitive? Does anybody even give? We feeling babies up with medicine. Yeah.
Ooh, sipping on juice, sitting in the coupe, thinking about school, thinking about you. Come through, sniffing on blue, sniffing on.
Hey, what's good, everybody? My name is Duke Mohead from HYLO Art. I'm sitting in for Chris Mohead, aka Rob Savage. And please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all things HYLO Art, because if you don't subscribe to us, you're gonna miss an amazing interview by a very talented young man who goes by the name of
David from Red Bank. David Dowdy, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. My house, HYLO Art, and Duke.
For sure. Hey, y'all give it up for David from Red Bank. David Dowdy.
Thank you all. Thanks for having me.
Glad you could make it. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. It's a good week. Tomorrow's a special day, and it's good to be here. You know,
Yeah.
Duke. It's good to be here. It's good to be okay. It's good to be able to come here and do comedy and
for
talk
sure.
about it.
We look forward to it, man. You know, like you said, Easter week and some other things going on, which is we're very fortunate. Before we go any further, though, I want you to look at that camera right there or this camera right here, either one of them,
okay.
and tell us what it is that you do.
Yeah. So the first thing I do is I'm a dad. I'm a full-time dad. I'm a single dad. So that lends me an interesting outlook on life. I believe I have two small children, 6 and 7, a boy and a girl. I do stand-up comedy. I've been doing that for 2.5 years. Prior to that, I went around talking to men in rehabilitative type settings, talking about how to live life a little bit different way. So I was doing that, and then COVID hit, and that was like my running gig, you know. Was going around talking to people, and that was taken away. And one day I was thinking, I was like, well, what do I really want to do? And this just popped into my head, and I don't really have a lot of things pop into my head that are good and productive, but I took it and I ran with it, and it's been one of the more exciting chapters of my life, in that it's brought me into relationships that I wouldn't have otherwise have been, and it's taken me places that I wouldn't have been, like here. I've been to that mall. I used to go to that mall when I was little, but I never would have thought I'd be doing this. So it really is an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You said Red Bank. Are you from Red Bank, or you just happen to? Where are you from?
Man, originally I'm from Oak Grove. When I came home from the hospital, I was taken to Oak Grove. I grew up in Lexington. And
Okay.
And then, you know, when I graduated, I moved out to Red Bank because it's cheap. It's cheap out there, and I learned why. Red Bank is an interesting land. It's known for crystal meth seizures, and it's just a really wild place. So yeah, I lived there for 11 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
In Red Bank.
Sorry to hear about the crystal meth thing.
It's okay.
So I'm assuming David Dowdy is your name.
That's my name. Yeah, David
So-
Dowdy's my name.
A lot of comedians go with their names instead of stage names. What was the reason behind just sticking with your regular name instead of coming up with some kind of?
I've halfway been assigned David from Red Bank, and I don't know what to think about that. I go to some place and they're like, you know, why don't you tell them it's from Red Bank, New Jersey, because that sounds better. I'm like, well, that's a lie, but so maybe that's not a good stage name. So I'm actually part of it being a comedian is you always have to be adjusting and adapting, and editing. So I'm actually editing and coming up with a stage name. So maybe
Okay.
y'all can help me.
I mean, David from Red Bank it drives questions. I mean, it piques interest, you know. So
Yeah.
you never know, man. Who was your biggest influence and inspiration to do comedy?
Oh wow. I think like many. I grew up watching Saturday Night Live, and then thinking like this can't be recreated, like nothing like this can be done. Then the Chappelle Show comes out, and and is something as good but different. And it kind of was possible. And seeing people like be themselves, and that be able to be enough. So inspiration. I recently saw Dave Attell live, and I'll tell you what, that was inspirational to see that man get up there and for an hour just murder the audience in Charlotte. And my stomach was hurting when I left. Just a wonderful show, very entertaining for a straight hour. Dave Attell. Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. Anything he comes out with, I want to hear it. I like his perspective. I like the way he changes and improvises mid-joke. He does a lot of really cool things in his comedy. There's so many.
Okay, dope. Are you a golfer? Did I notice that when I was across your page? You do golf, right?
I'll play. Yeah, I'll play.
So the Masters is going on right now, right? Are you watching that?
Right down the road. I was watching it earlier. I saw 765 in the clubhouse.
Oh,
That's 7 under.
Who you got?
John Rahm was a favorite.
Okay.
He's holding it down in the number 1 spot. Gosh, who do I got? I like Scotty Scheffler,
okay.
The defending champion. He's been playing really well.
I got to ask, what is Tiger doing? Because I don't watch golf
Tiger's
as much.
2 over, but he's never out.
What's the cut?
They'll have the cut tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
It might be around even. He's got some work to do tomorrow.
Okay. All right. A little bit off business, man. Talk a little bit about some TV shows that we flip through late at night, some of us. So you got Martin, The Fresh Prince, Friends, The Office. I want you to rank these TV shows for us, okay? So we got Martin, Fresh Prince, Friends, The Office, and then a choice of yours.
I feel like The Office was one of the newer ones, but I didn't really get into The Office.
Okay.
So that one is going to have to be at the end for me.
Okay.
I watched Fresh Prince. So that one, and I watched Martin.
Okay.
So those are got to be 1 and 2. What was I have a bad memory.
Friends. Friends and
I didn't really watch that one a lot either.
Okay.
I would put The Office at 3 and Friends at 4. I
Okay.
think Friends is cheesy. I wasn't really a fan. I didn't like it at all. It was not realistic. It wasn't realistic.
And then you got Martin and the Fresh Prince. But then what about your choice?
One of my this is exciting.
What's your number 1 choice?
Oh man, there's so many. Netflix has just changed the game of TV shows. What's a recent Outlander? Has anybody seen Outlander? Give me a woo if you've seen Outlander.
No.
All right, this is an interview. My bad.
No. I don't think nobody's seen it. Anybody seen Outlander? Oh yeah, she's seen it right there.
It's raw. It's a raw show.
Oh yeah. I don't know if Chris here yet, but if he is, I'm going to have to tell him we got to check that out. Outlander.
Okay. Yeah, check that out.
So another question about comedy, since you are a comedian, who has the best movies, in your opinion, of these 4? Who has the best movies? You got Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart, or Tina Fey?
I am biased. I really like Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's crazy. I like his movies. Like Frank, you got Frank the Tank. You've got so many good characters that he's done.
Is that your favorite one of his, or you got something else?
I think so. Frank the Tank was a really good character. What movie was that? Help me out. I can't remember, but it was Old School. There you go.
Yeah, Old School. I was about to say, Old School is the one that most people say Will Ferrell, and they always bring up Old School.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Blue, and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so now, what is the hardest part you feel? No, let me stay positive. What's the best part of being a comedian, a stand-up comedian?
Being able to, I always assume that you know me, but you don't know me at all. This is the most we've had in a conversation. But in my mind, I don't know why my mind works like that. I assume people know me, and when I'm doing comedy, after a while, when you're talking about things about yourself, because in comedy, our pain equals funny. That's a comedy rules. So when we're talking about ourselves, you'll see the audience start to connect with you visually, like through their eyes and their body language, and they'll become comfortable with you to a degree where at least it seems that way from the stage and when you started and where you are. But laughter has to bring that. So if you're able to connect with the audience through laughter in a positive way, to me, that being able to recreate that is equally exciting every time.
Okay. Now, we saw you at Winners, which is an amazing location on Sundays. Great comedy spot, great drinks, all that good stuff. Real intimate setting. It's dope. Anyway, shout out to Winners, as a matter of fact. But
shout out to Winners.
Yeah. Now, but with that, I know you perform there sometimes. But what are some current and future locations that maybe some people could catch you at?
Yeah. Winners is as far as a Sunday shows go, that's a fun one. My partner Barry White produces and
Salute to
hosts
Barry
that
White.
one.
Shout out to Barry White.
Barry White supporting. One of the things that I look forward to, and I hesitate to use the words just an open mic, but I really love going to the Art Bar on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
It's always a good crowd. It's a big crowd. I like going there. It's a really good time. Okay. There's another mic that just came up, and we'll give a shout out to them right now as well.
Okay.
Ryan Easterbrooks has got a stage going at Cola Craft downtown.
Oh, okay. What day?
Saturdays.
That's Saturdays. Okay.
Saturday free show, and naturally it's a brewery downtown, so it's packing out.
Wow.
And
So
the people are liking it, so it's going good.
So you've already covered a Tuesday. You got Saturday, Sunday.
Saturdays, yeah.
And you also the main
Monday.
Jokes at the Joint on Monday.
Yep.
Thursday you can come here if you don't got nothing else to do. So,
Hey,
and I'm guessing Friday that people gig and make money and stuff. But it's a lot
you'll
going
have
on.
me back.
Oh,
Dude.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, but I'm just saying it's definitely a lot to do here in Columbia, and as far as the comedy scene, I think, and I agree with you on
Absolutely.
the art bar as well. So, what advice do you have for others who want to be in a similar position like yours?
For me, a lot of anxiety went away and joy came in when I created a process to be able to be creative within. So I set up like a writing process to where on this day I do this, and it's not regimented. There's a lot of freedom within it, but it gives me some parameters to be able to organize and be able to go back and get material that I've worked on, edit it, add to it, because you never know when you're going to have something pop into your head and it'll be good for a joke that is from a long time ago. You need to be able to go to retrieve that joke in a way that's not going to be a pain in the ass, and edit it in a way that you're going to know what you mean. So it's actually setting up a creative process of writing and then setting a limit on it. So like a 1 block time. I have a 1 week process, and every week it starts over. And it's new material I'm creating.
Okay.
So having a process.
So having a process. Okay,
Yeah.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you for that. Is there anything that we did not ask you that you want to talk about? Anything in the world that you want to talk about?
First of all, dude, great questions. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get to hear the other artists' interviews as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really good to talk to you.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'll always talk about, and you said it earlier, keep it positive and not sad. That's why I hesitated a little bit. But I always like to bring up, mental health. They say to talk to somebody about it, but sometimes when you talk to someone about it, there can be backlash from it. So the thing that I would like to talk about is be that trusted person that someone can talk to in their vulnerable time, and they know that when it hits you, it's locked up in a box, and it's trying to be that person for other people. I think that's it's one thing to say like, yeah, I'm a mental health advocate, but how? Like, what are you doing? And it can start as easy as just listening to someone, and that's it. It's just a judgment-free ear.
That's amazing advice, man. I appreciate that. Mental health.
I don't know where that came from. I blacked out a little bit.
Mental health is real, man. So thank
Yeah.
you. Any final shout-outs? Any final shout-outs to anybody?
Shout out to Barry White for
Shout out Barry
being
White.
here and supporting.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to all of Columbia Comedy, and in particular, there's a few people that have helped me get started. Topher, Riddle, and Patrick Fowler. They set up a stage in Columbia. A lot of comedians have gotten their start there at the Art Bar at New Brooklyn Tavern when they were having it.
Yep.
You had him earlier, Robert Taylor.
Yeah, he was here last week.
Sat down with me and showed me how to write jokes, and he's done that with a lot of people. There's a lot of new comedians that are hitting Columbia, and it's like a new season, and they're hilarious, and they're young, and they're ready to say things. And yeah, those are a few. There's so many more though, Duke.
Okay.
There's so many people that have been a part of it.
Well, it's been an amazing interview. Thank you for that, man. We really do appreciate it. Y'all give it up for our amazing guest, Mr. David from Red Bank.
Thank y'all. Give it up for Duke.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey everybody, thank y'all for having me. My name's David. Y'all give it up for our host, Duke. Wonderful host. Doing it all. Hey, y'all give it up for Chris Mohead. That was pretty amazing. That was an amazing performance. That was really cool. Thank you for that. Just dropped an album, it looks like. April 30th, got a new video coming out. I don't have any videos coming out. I don't know, we'll have to see how this goes. It's good to be here. I said that already. So one time I gave blood to the Red Cross. Anybody ever given blood to the Red Cross? Boy, I tell you what, do not give them your cell phone number. Oh, wow, they do not leave you alone. They're worse than the car warranty people. I mean, there's some real vampires. And it's so weird. They're like, we really need your blood. They need it. They're like desperate for your blood. And they want to give it to another person. Like, it's not even like it. It's all going to be okay. Sounds like we have some blood donors over there. Riled up. Get that blood pumping, ladies. We need it. Squeeze that ball. You know, they're out of blood. That's what they're saying. They're out of blood. I don't know how that can be. Like, it's this dangerous situation. If you go to the hospital, we don't know if we're going to have the blood. And I got a solution to that. Do y'all want to hear my solution to this blood crisis we have going on? I think that everybody should have like their own quota, okay? You have to go and give blood so that if anything ever happens and you have to have a surgery, boom, here's your blood. Because you've got a quota each week to hit and donate so that if you do need to have an elective surgery or a necessary surgery, you'll have the blood necessary to have that surgery without having to be dependent upon someone else. Like, you know, it's like they're blowing their shit up. They're like vampires. I call that one Red Cross. What do y'all think? Up, down, sideways. Okay, we're keeping it. Cool. I'm a single dad. I was talking about that earlier in the interview. They're young, so you know I gotta cut corners. You know, I got this secret hack I do. One thing I do, I hang up their clothes in Waffle House, so when they go to school, it smells like they've been fed. I actually did that. They will kick you out. Do y'all know what Aldi is? Yeah, we got one in Red Bank. That's weird. Somebody said Aldi was coming to Red Bank. I said, okay, well, what does that really like? What does that mean for us? Is that like Chick-fil-A and Starbucks are coming? Like, what does this mean? I didn't know what Aldi means. I looked it up. It means it's German, actually. It's German for, hey, we got food here. Which is an interesting business model because it's all contingent upon you bringing your own bag. They're basically at the onset of this, they're like, hey, we're going to be able to bring the food here. We're going to do groceries, but you've got to bring your own bags or this will not work. Please, Aldi. That one was for me, more or less. Thank you. Has it settled down at the bar? Our blood donors are doing good over there. Have we got them hooked up to a needle yet? Speaking of hooked up to a needle, you're never going to believe this, but I did actually go to a rehab once. I'm leaving. As soon as I get done with this, I'm getting in the car, I'm going back to another one. I'm just kidding. So when I was there, everybody wants to ask you what your drug of choice is. What's your DOC? So I told them what mine was. It was a little embarrassing, but I had to tell them. It was a gas station boner pills. Anybody ever struggle with those? I'm 2 days sober. 2 days sober, yeah. Seriously though, I did meet someone who was actually in the process. This is really bad. He was in the process of losing his family over Mucinex. This man was getting high on Mucinex, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit jealous because I did not get high on Mucinex. It just makes me a little lightheaded, and I can breathe better through my nose. No allergy problems. English is a really hard language. I struggle with it a lot. You got this thing in there, it's called the order of adjectives. Y'all ever heard of it? It's the difference between big old titties and old big titties. It's a big difference, the order of adjectives. It's like alien, I'm going to see an alien ant farm concert, or I'm going to see a farm of alien ants. It can get real weird fast. The order of adjectives, we just do it real easy. Y'all just do it. Just not even thinking, right? We put our adjectives in order. No problem. Did y'all know that? Good job, y'all. Good job. Okay. Is it okay if I talk to just the black people for a minute? Is that okay? Thank you. I really should have put a stronger joke behind that. No, thank you for having me though. I'm going to do a couple more jokes and get out of here because I think that's almost my 600 seconds, which just so happens to line up to 10 minutes. I think that's a little bit weird. I don't know. I was in Walgreens earlier this week, and this person walked in, and she hollers, "Is this all y'all have for Easter baskets?" And I stopped. I was like, "This isn't the Easter basket store. We're here for drugs." That really did happen. Just shout it out for everybody to solve her fucking problem. Is this all y'all have for Easter baskets? Isn't that just... It's Red Bank. I was in Red Bank. Does everybody know where Red Bank is? Put your hand up. Yeah. It's a terrible place. I'm going to do one more. That's about all I got. I'm really running out of steam up here. I had some delicious shrimp earlier, and let me tell you, new rule for me. If there's seafood painted on the wall, order the seafood. It is really good, y'all. The food here is delicious. Give it up for that. There's no punchline. I'm not trying to sneak one in on the cooks. That shit was good. It was really good. All right, last joke. I was driving by the other day, and I saw this sign. I saw this sign on the side of the road, and it was a funeral home, which I thought was kind of weird. Y'all ever seen a funeral home place with like a roadside sign? Like, what are y'all advertising? We know what you do, but this sign was a little bit conspicuous, suspicious. I don't know. I just didn't like it, but it said, "Drive safely." I don't know. Did y'all take that like I took it? Drive safely. Like, they don't really want. That's bad for business. You know? It's bad for business. I drive safely, you know. Thank y'all so much for having me tonight. Y'all have been a lovely crowd. Give it up for yourselves. Once again, I'd like to thank our host, Duke. And hey, y'all support Chris. Let's support him and see what happens. Right? Hey, thank y'all again. David from Red Bank. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you couldn't wait for me. I could get it together, try to get my together. You couldn't wait for me. I could get it together, go find you one better. I'm sorry.